I'm enjoying this so much. After dinner, Caleb insists on clearing the table himself. He tells me to rest and he'll get my bedroom ready soon. I hesitate for a moment before deciding to ask him about the explosion incident. Just as I reach the terrace, thunder roars from outside. The sound alone makes me jump. Maybe it's because we're closer to the sky here. Oh, that would be terrifying for me. Because I already don't like thunder and lightning. But being that close to like the clouds, that would be terrifying. That would be so loud. Seeing Caleb's busy figure, I calm down a little. Caught by his gentle gaze, the words stick in my throat. I can only say a random sentence. I want a soda. Caleb steps aside, creating a path for me to get to the fridge. Help me open it. What kind of fridge is it? Okay, I have to pick that one because that's so ridiculous. Help me open it. Oh, the can. I thought... I thought she was like, help me open the fridge. I mean, okay. I hold out to him the can that I took. Caleb silently stares at me for a moment. Then the metal tab is popped open.
You're putting my evol to good use like always.
Oh, he used his evil. We toast, our cans clinking against each other. Another roar of thunder startles me. However, I choke.
Still a scaredy cat?
Yes. Caleb can't help but chuckle. He pats my back, and as if recalling something, he looks out of the window into the night.
I thought you weren't afraid of it anymore.
What do you mean? I still am afraid of it. Like, actually. Caleb sets down the soda and brings up a tablet that controls many of the house's utilities. The curtains are shut, which protects the room from the storm outside.
Remember your astrophobia from when you were little? Didn't you usually hide whenever thunder rolled in?
Maybe it was because thunder sounded too much like a wanderer's roar. I was still terrified of it months after the chrono rift catastrophe had ended.
At first, I thought you were playing hide and seek with me.
Oh,
But then I saw you were just frightened.
oh no. You always remember the minor details. But eventually, I became immune to it.
And who should we thank for that?
I look up. With his eyebrow slightly raised, Caleb grins. And reflecting on those memories, I pretend to be clueless. We should thank my resilience.
You ungrateful pipsqueak. You ungrateful pipsqueak.
Caleb teases me and pinches my nose. Chuckling at my reaction, he lets go. Of course, I remember that whenever there was a storm, regardless of whether it was during the day or at night, he always stayed by my side. That's sweet. I didn't dare to fall asleep, but Caleb always covered my ears until I dozed off. Oh. The thunderstorms trapped him, the most popular kid on the block, inside the house. And so he had to seek refuge with me in various hiding places. I wonder if he was like out and about, and if a thunderstorm started, if he like ran home. So that he could help her. No one else knew it was me that was trapped home. And Caleb was the one who broke that magical cage. Oh, oops. Oh, no. Caleb, why were you the first? Why were you always the first person to find me? It didn't matter whether I hid in the closet or the attic. Because he was trying to find me so he could help, comfort me. Oh no.
We probably have a telepathic connection.
You just got lucky every time.
Yeah, and? Doesn't matter if I'm lucky or not.
Sentimentality grazes my heart's surface. My hand that's resting on the fridge subconsciously twitches. Why do I feel awkward all of a sudden? I mean, isn't telepathy usually something twins have? Like the ones who are involved in this incident. Thinking of those two that were affected by the explosion, my voice lowers. Over the next few days, there wasn't any progress in finding Kevi, and his sister Mia is still recovering. Caleb,
You still want to investigate?
Caleb has read my mind. I hesitate for a moment before nodding. Kevi is still missing, and I need to know if Ever is related to the explosion. If Ever is involved, there's a good chance I'll get important info that's connected to the ether core. Kevi might have already been marked as their target.
The fleet will handle it. And even if you doubt them, can't you trust me?
Can't you trust me now that we're all grown up? It's reminded me of that.
Since you're on vacation, why not just kick back and relax in Skyhaven?
But Caleb... Oh. His sister must be worried sick about him right now. She probably wants to be with Kevi again. Oh no. Oh no. The parallel. I'm already your adjutant. I promise not to cause any trouble. If anything bad happens, I'll take full Ouch! Something hits my head, but it's not a light tap or a smack. Caleb has a serious expression.
What are you even saying? I always have your back. Don't even think about drawing a line in the sand. Take care of yourself. Do that, and you can investigate whatever you want.
So after everything draws to a close, can you come home with me?
I remember you saying you'd be fine by yourself. But it seems like you still want someone with you.
Not just someone. You. I'll worry about you if we're always separated.
Is that the only reason?
He shifts his gaze down after suddenly using a softer voice. The fridge door is slightly ajar, and Caleb's hand rests on it. I'm seemingly trapped in this confined space. A cool breeze brushes against my shoulders. The faint glow from the refrigerator casts shadows in the depths of his determined, steadfast gaze.
Is it just because I said I'd always be by your side? I'm just messing around. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue?
You're not just messing around. Feeling the tension dissipate, I pretend to be annoyed as I push him away and change the topic. Move. It's so cold being in front of the fridge. If I get sick, it'll be your fault. Amused, Caleb willingly backs off.
All right. I'll keep my distance. It'll be like there's an ocean between us. You stick to your side, and I'll stick to mine. Don't worry. You won't have to remind me twice.
Oh no, I didn't say that. Caleb has returned to my side. I should be relieved, happy even, but I tossed and turned in bed that night. As I open my eyes, the bright morning light filters through the curtains. A warm glow is cast on the bedside. After staring at the dimly lit ceiling for what feels like an eternity, I wearily get up. The house is silent. It seems Caleb just left. My breakfast, still warm, is sitting on the dining table. I notice a note tacked underneath it. Your highest priority is resting and enjoying your meal. Everything else comes second. I smile as I fold the note. When I sit down, I get a voice message.
Did you eat breakfast yet? I'll be sorting some things out with the fleet. I'll pick you up later.
Yeah, okay. I finish eating my breakfast while going over last night's plan in my head. Alright, it's time to visit that medical center. Willow Medical Center. Inpatient Department. 9th floor, room 903. Mia. Thanks to Caleb's support, I quickly find the place where Mia is recovering in. It's been said that Kevi and Mia are very close. She's the key to finding him.
I'm terribly sorry, Adjutant. The patient has just recovered from being in critical condition. Visits are prohibited unless her primary care physician authorizes it. This applies to fleet personnel as well.
Could I speak to the doctor then? The nurse looks me up and down. There's a hint of suspicion in her eyes.
Dr. Jones is busy with meetings with a visiting team of medical specialists. The earliest you can schedule an appointment with him is next week.
I understand. Mia is in a precarious situation right now. But with the hospital's strict security measures, her safety is guaranteed at least. I find myself walking to the elevator, and my gaze falls on the directory sign. The administrative offices are on the 16th floor. If Dr. Jones is in a meeting, he might be on this floor. Ding! The elevator opens again. While engaged in hushed conversations, several doctors step out. I guess I can only try my luck upstairs for now. Just as I'm about to enter the elevator, a familiar voice cuts through my train of thought like a blade of frost. Zane? I was not expecting to see him in this chapter. Wait, is she gonna mention that Caleb is back? She has to, right? Maybe not. Zane. The figure wearing a white lab coat turns around. When our gazes meet, he adjusts his glasses. Surprise flickers in his eyes. Is this the confidential schedule you talked about 2 weeks ago? Don't worry. I'll experience memory loss once I'm back in Lincoln. At the vending machine, Zane gets himself a latte. He gives me he gives me a bottle of pear juice.
If I'm not mistaken, a few days ago you said the association ordered you to take leave.
Well, about that.
However, I didn't think a medical center in Skyhaven was a vacation spot.
Well, is he gonna connect the dots? He slightly tilts his head back to sip his coffee and frowns because it isn't sweet enough. He scans the department signs on this floor.
You don't have to explain why you're here. It's obvious.
Oh. Oh. I sigh and give Zane a rundown of the incident. He knows that we're here because of the of the parallels between the explosion I experienced and this one. I figured I could talk to Mia and see if she knows anything about Kevi.
Mia is no longer in critical condition. She should be able to receive visitors.
Do you know Mia?
Her primary care physician used to be my colleague. He mentioned her during his visit. Since Mia was exposed to a metaflux explosion, I checked her heart to ensure she's all right.
How is she now?
Her physical recovery is going well, but she was badly shaken by the accident. Mia still displays signs of avoiding the outside world.
Oh no.
But you talking to her might help ease her nerves.
If it's possible, I'd like to try. Zane taps the folder containing medical records. Then he looks at me.
Give me a second. I'll ask.
Thank you.
Dr. Jones, you have a moment.
A few minutes pass. Then Zane puts his phone away. Under my hopeful gaze, his expression softens as he nods.
Follow me. I'll check on Mia's condition first. And if she's all right, I'll ask her.
After receiving the visitation guidelines, I take a deep breath and follow him into the hospital room. In the pristine white room, a young girl around 10 years old sits on the bed. Her face is covered in bandages.
Mia, the nurse said you drank some milk today. That's good.
See. Mia turns her head without responding. With a blank stare, she looks out the window. Zane crouches down by the bed. He gently touches Mia's elbow.
Since you listened to the doctor and the nurse, it doesn't hurt as much now?
The little girl slowly blinks, silently acknowledging Zane's words.
While waiting for the pain to go away, do you want a reward?
I wanna go home.
Oh no. Her soft voice, tinged with sorrow, resounds in the quiet ward. My heart feels a faint pang, as if that voice reached out to me, urging me to move closer. However, I hesitate, unsure of how to start a conversation. Seeing that Mia has noticed me, Zane speaks in an even gentler tone, which radiates reassurance.
She's my friend. A skilled hunter who saved many children like you.
It's unclear which of Zane's words affect her, but she slightly stirs. Hello, Mia. Zane calmly observes, stepping back only when he sees Mia doesn't flinch at my approach. Do you want to talk? Mia hesitates and nods. Relieved, Zane and I exchange looks. Zane leaves the room. On his way out, he taps my hand, silently telling me not to stay for too long. Taking a seat beside the bed, I tenderly hold her hand. Mia, what you went through, I also experienced that. You must be really upset. Her small hand slightly twitches in response to my words. Do you miss your brother, Mia? Her empty eyes flicker with emotion. She's about to cry.
Is he dead?
Her eyes are filled to the brim with tears. Don't worry, he's probably just hiding.
But I always find him. I can't this time.
Your brother wouldn't just leave you. He probably got into a bit of trouble. Can you tell me what you saw before the explosion happened? I might be able to help. She stares at me, and just as she's about to speak, a knock interrupts us. A person wearing glasses and a dark-colored uniform enters. He has the Farspace Fleet's insignia on his armband.
It seems the Colonel forgot to inform us. What brings you here, Adjutant?
His scrutinizing gaze washes over me, and I look away. It seems today won't go according to my plan. The Colonel has his reasons. Just do your job. I'll stop by next time to avoid any trouble. As I'm about to leave, Mia suddenly calls out to me.
Miss?
She retrieves a burnt dog plushie from behind her pillow. She sounds nervous when she speaks.
Thank you for visiting me. Can I give you Lucia as a present?
Oh. Lucia is this dog plushie? Sure. I'll always find my way back to you. A new pose. Cool mist rises slowly from the lawn, leaving only a shadowy outline of the hospital wings, streamlined white architecture. I squeeze the dog plushie named Lucia. I'm genuinely puzzled about what Mia's intent was. Maybe it's a clue. Is this just a gift?
Have you made any progress?
Hi, Zane. Zane sits down next to me. He gives me a cup that's filled with a drink. I don't know what it is though. Is this milk tea, a health drink, or a fruit slushy?
Warm water.
Ew. I'm not drinking that. He calmly looks over before lowering his head. Then he gently squeezes the dog plushie's cheek. As usual, he delivers his dry humor with a straight face.
Furrowed brows, pursed lips, and a scrunched up face. All symptoms of severe dehydration.
Why didn't you get me cold water then? There's no way my face is. I quickly relax my expression, but my brows furrow again upon seeing Lucia.
Mia clung to this plushie from the site of the explosion at the medical center. Now it's with you. What did she say?
I said I'd help her find her brother.
Kevi?
Zane pauses, his thoughts drifting for a moment before he shifts slightly. His tone becomes more solemn.
Something or someone must be behind his disappearance. However, by getting involved, you'll have to confront people who are also searching for him.
I know. While the first base fleet dealt with one culprit behind the explosion, the whole thing feels too familiar to what happened to me. I'm not sure, but Ever must be involved somehow. Kevi must have something they're after, or there's a secret they're desperate to keep hidden.
The closer you are to the truth, the closer you are to danger. If you truly thought this through.
Once they make their move, there will be a second time and then a third. I can't just stand there and watch the same tragedy repeat itself with these two.
Aside from Ever, there's another curious matter. I studied in Skyhaven and worked at Willow Medical Center for a while. As a result, I'm familiar with the general atmosphere of this place. But I've noticed how different it is from what I remember.
What are you trying to say?
The fleet.
Does he know?
Back then, the fleet
Oh.
wielded a considerable amount of influence beneath a modest facade. They spent most of their time carrying out exploration missions in the deep space tunnel. A majority of the people who worked here for 7 to 8 years had never seen what their vessels looked like. This sort of large-scale operation where their forces have been deployed on the ground is unprecedented.
Yeah, it is strange. It's also something that wouldn't be noticeable unless you lived in Skyhaven for several years. Captain Jenna mentioned this before I left Lincoln. The fleet's response to the explosion is different from what they've done in the past. I'll keep a close eye on the situation, but for now, I need to find Kevy as soon as possible. He's been missing for a while now and could be in danger. Zane nods and looks up at the dark clouds in the sky.
Did you find any leads?
It's been a week since the explosion. The fleet must have searched through every nook and cranny of the explosion site and the surrounding area. If they can't find him, Kevy must have either been taken away by someone or hiding in an even more secluded place. While the latter seems unlikely, I look at Lucia's big, wide eyes. Did Mia give me a clue?
Let me take a look.
I give Lucia to Zane. He scrutinizes it for a moment before tugging its charred tail. There's a burst of static before a voice crackles from the plushie.
Where are you hiding? I'm done playing.
Mia, you're so silly. I'm in our secret base.
What?
But we said not to hide in the secret base. You're cheating.
Noticing my surprised gaze, Zane places Lucia back onto my lap and strokes its head.
I've seen similar toys with sick children.
I knew it was a smart move to turn to a doctor. I carefully pull Lucia's tail and listen to the conversation again. Then I realize something. Maybe Kevy hasn't been taken away. He must be hiding. Is this secret base his hiding place? I turn back to look at Zane and speak. Think.
Don't. I'm tired of hearing that.
When we're back in Lincoln, I'll buy you the latest item on Motosio's dessert menu. I suddenly recall how Zane had taken several consecutive days off after returning from Chancia. It's something he rarely does. You've already used up some of your vacation time. Will you be busy later? I can get the dessert to go and give it to you at the hospital instead.
This is the first time I've heard of someone inviting another out for dinner by using a complaint.
I'm afraid I'll bother you when you're busy. Zane slowly leans back, studies me for a moment, and then reaches for the cup of warm water. His expression remains indiscernible.
I suppose what you need isn't water, but something that's more than lukewarm.
What do you mean? Noticing my confusion, Zane slightly tilts his head and responds with a smile that carries amusement and resonance. Noticing my confusion, Zane slightly tilts his head and responds with a smile that carries amusement and resignation.
We both have to deal with challenges, one after another. If we want to see each other, then there will be moments like this where we can sit together, no matter how hectic things get.
Aww. That's sweet. He lifts Lucia's head, and the plushie stares at me with his dewy black eyes.
Once you help Mia, take some time to think about what you'd like to eat with me.
Okay. Following the explosion, the Far Space Fleet uses wanderers as their reason for sealing off the area and evacuating all residents within 2-kilometer radius. Maybe the week-long search has led them to believe Kevi is no longer in this neighborhood. No fleet soldiers are stationed here tonight. The charred ground reveals several sets of footprints, all disorderly. Many have passed through this place. Kevi. As I enter a backyard, I see a scorched swing and a slide that's been reduced to a metal frame. I pause before carefully tugging Lucia's tail. If Kevi is still around, he might hear this. After a few minutes, I notice faint sobbing. Suddenly, a familiar energy fluctuation ripples through the air. Behind the shrubs, a tear in reality, around half a meter wide, materializes. A timid little boy emerges. He's hesitating. Oh, so he must have an evil to, like, shift a reality. So that's how he was able to, like, hide in plain sight. Realizing I'm not his sister, he tries to run away, but I quickly call out to him. Wait, Mia sent me. The boy freezes. He turns around, but his head is still lowered. He's unwilling to meet my gaze.
You shouldn't come any closer. Don't look at my face. Have I become a monster?
Granulated crystals seem to be growing around his eye sockets, almost engulfing his whole face. Is he becoming a wanderer? A few months ago, I saw this sort of phenomenon in the N109 zone, with those monsters in Chansa City. Maintaining my composure, I touch the crystals on his face. A sharp pain shoots through my palm, but the growth stops. Just as I thought. I've seen this before. You're not a monster. You're just ill and need to get treated as soon as possible. She's recovering in the medical center, and after the surgery was over, there haven't been any problems. I take Kevi's hand and wipe away his tears. Right now she's worried about you, Kevi. Can you tell me what happened on the day of the explosion? How did you manage to stay hidden? The secret base you have with Mia. Comforted by my words, he stops sobbing. Slowly he withdraws his hand and reveals something to me. In the center of his palm is a tiny crystal fragment. This is a familiar energy reverberates in my heart, and I slowly exhale. It's the last spatial core fragment we've been looking for.
When the explosion happened, Mia and I were playing hide and seek. I was in our secret base while she was outside. She couldn't find me. I was hiding for a couple of minutes. Then I heard a loud bang and blacked out. I was protected by this thing that Mom and Dad left.
Kevi looks down at his palm. The protocore fragment emits a gentle, soft glow. Your parents left this?
Yeah, they also said I need to take care of Mia. And that I shouldn't be found and use this to hide whenever I'm in danger.
So this fragment can create a space. The secret base you and Mia talked about? Lowering his head, he nods.
After the explosion, I slept for a long time. And when I woke up, I wanted to find Mia, but there were people outside looking for me.
Who were they?
I don't know, but they were dressed like Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad said that when they're not around, I shouldn't trust those people or go with them. I can't trust anyone.
This must mean Kevi's parents knew that there were people in the fleet who wanted to harm them. I bet other groups are also involved. At this point, letting the fleet find Kevi might not be for the best. I touch the black crystals on Kevi's face. He slightly flinches from the pain. But even if we only consider his health, Kevi can't stay here anymore. Maybe having him leave Skyhaven temporarily is the only way to ensure his safety right now. In that case, the Hunters Association, which has been kept out of these events since the beginning, will be a reliable safe haven. I know you're in danger and that you really want to see Mia now, but you need to keep this fragment safe and hold on for one more day. I'll make the necessary arrangements and return to you as soon as I can. Kevi is quiet for a moment, then he pats Lucia's head and nods.
Can you tell Mia something for me? I'm okay. Tell her not to worry.
After leaving the area that's under lockdown, I call ZAYNE. ZAYNE.
Don't rush. Speak slowly. Did you find Kevi?
When his voice comes through the phone, it's almost as if a warm hand is soothing my troubled mind. Yes, he has a spatial core fragment. He's been using its power to hide himself. He's also infected with something that involves those black crystals, but his condition seems slightly better than what we saw in the patient at Chancia Hospital. In Chancia Hospital, ZAYNE and I arrived at a preliminary conclusion. The ether core's power doesn't cause transformations like this. Someone is responsible for creating this crystal-related disease. And assuming that's the case, they're deliberately turning people into monsters. After I reveal this conclusion we never really discussed before, the other end of the line is silent for a few minutes.
A few years ago, I witnessed something similar. That person was my friend.
William? Recalling my conversation with ZAYNE in the Arctic, a guess forms in my mind. Was it the one who died in Mount Eternal? It couldn't be because...
Yes. After that incident, we learned that under extremely special circumstances, when Wanderers strike, their attacks cause energy crystals to grow in the afflicted area. They corrode the human body and grow a sort of shell over it. Once that happens, the victims can lose their sanity within seconds and uncontrollably lash out at anyone around them.
So... Okay, under special circumstances, okay. Well... Some of the vague relationships between a few things become clearer. Zane's secret research, the small animals at Dr. Noah's home. Your research with Dr. Noah in the Arctic involves this, right?
It does. Based on your description, Kevy's transformation hasn't truly started. But it's hard to say if we should delay our attempts to treat it.
I have a feeling that if he stays in Skyhaven, something unpredictable and grave will happen.
I'll find a way to transfer him to Oxo Hospital and ask Dr. Noah to come back.
I was just about to ask about that. When can you pick up Kevy?
The hospital can't reach his guardians, which could be a problem. I'll have everything arranged by tomorrow night at the latest.
This is so interesting because Zayne is like so willing to go against like what's required? I don't know the right word. Then I'll bring Kevy to you at that time.
There's one more thing. A necessary reminder, so to speak.
He pauses before lowering his voice.
Since Kevy has an ether core fragment, it's possible Ever will keep looking for him. When caring for others, you must be mindful of your own safety.
Sure. Before coming here, I thought I had grown stronger. I thought I'd be capable enough to handle the challenges that awaited me. But I didn't expect them to become even more difficult. Fortunately, I've never had to face them alone.
Perhaps I'm also doing this for myself.
After the call ends, my beating heart finally begins to calm down. I look up at the moonlight hidden behind the dark clouds. The night is still, with no wind or rain, and the stars shine brightly. I suddenly wonder, is Zayne also looking at the same night sky right now? The lieutenant's appearance at the medical center today means that the fleet is keeping Mia under close surveillance. I need to avoid them if I want to bring Kevy here. Which means I need to keep this from Caleb somehow. Oh no. During my trip back to the station on the floating island, the previously peaceful sky suddenly becomes dark and gloomy. Thunder roars in the distance. It might start raining again. My phone has several unread texts from Caleb. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, no. No, don't. I didn't press anything. I'll have to go back. He said, like, I only saw the first text. He said, like, where are you? When will you come back? As I scroll through them, the fact that Caleb is truly back sinks in.
Everyone's on edge because of the explosion in the Cascade District.
The deep space tunnel's been acting up again. and more wanderers are showing up in Skyhaven.
I send over my location's coordinates, and then it starts to drizzle. Okay, I want to see what he texted. I wish I hadn't gone by that fast. I'm gonna have to like speed read it like really quick. I'm at the supermarket. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? You haven't responded at all. Did something happen? Yo, that went by way too fast. Okay, so he was like, where are you? I'm at the supermarket. Damn. He's like, why haven't you texted me back? Frowny face. Okay.
Everyone's on edge because of the explosion in the Cascade District.
The deepspace tunnel's been acting up again, and more wanderers are showing up in Skyhaven.
I send over my location's coordinates, and then it starts to drizzle. I join the crowd under the overpass. The atmosphere grows heavy with an eerie chill. A figure clad in black, half their face concealed by a high collar, appears. Their greenish-gray hair is loosely tied.
Excuse me.
Oh? But they don't move. Something's off, so I move to the side. Can I help you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh no. Oh! You're joking. You're joking. All of a sudden, there's a small explosion nearby. The scorching heat throws me back a few meters.
It's a wonder!
Run!
I steady myself, covering my nose and mouth with one hand, and waving away the smoke with the other. The stranger is still there. He pulls down his collar to reveal his face. With a forked tongue and white slit pupils, he grins mysteriously as if knowing this would happen.
Has anyone warned you that a unique hunter like yourself could get...
Hold on. Wait, okay. For some reason this character is... This is reminding me of like a snake.
into some real trouble around these parts?
Oh, it definitely is. Oh, it definitely is. Wait, is it actually gonna be like Adam and Eve symbolism? He moves like a grayish-green serpent. His fingers change into blades as they swipe past my cheek. I barely manage to sidestep him. He attacks again, aiming for my throat this time. He's tough and quick. I instinctively lean back and narrowly avoid the silver blades. I pistol whip him, the gun landing a decisive blow on his head. Hearing that satisfying sound, I know I did a good job. I turn around. Nah, he's still gonna be alive. No way. From the broken remains, wires and metal bits burst out along with a bunch of tiny bolts.
You're annoying. I can't hear anything now.
The man touches the broken part of his ear before tossing the short-circuiting implant into the drain.
If I take the ether core from you, I can trade it in for an ear with some nice bass. But
The scattered electrical equipment is sucked into a metaflux surge as it spawns several strange-looking wanderers.
oh well, let them have some fun.
Is this some kind of transformation? My hand moves behind my waist. Amidst the dirt and rain, a bright red flash materializes. A wanderer that is lunged forward is sent flying back several meters. What attacked it was an apple? Having found what? He used the apple as a weapon. Having found its mark, the apple continues on its gravity-defying trajectory. I turn my head. Caleb, cradling his phone between his ear and shoulder. Caleb grabs an apple from the paper bag he's holding. He holds it up and catches it in his right hand.
The supermarket wasn't having a sale on produce today, and my bullets aren't exactly cheap.
That's so funny. Caleb. Using apples instead of bullets. I raise my gun and swiftly position myself beside him. I keep an eye on the wanderers approaching us.
This isn't a game. I won't let you charge in alone.
Don't underestimate me. I can pull my weight in a battle just like you know. Dang. Our first battle together. Okay. I wanted to look at the cards. Oh my gosh.
Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Now's our chance to strike. Target is within range. Commence encirclement.
Let's end this together. You won't escape.
Focus fire.
Perfect apple. Oh, I can't share it right now. Made it unlocked. Deep Space Pilot. Bang. The last wanderer is flattened by an unseen force and scatters debris in all directions. Caleb. Muddy water is everywhere, but Caleb seems unfazed as he brushes aside the damp strands of my hair.
Are you hurt?
I'm good, but that person is getting away. Caleb holds out his hand, his fingers slightly extended. A barrage of stone shards chase after the fleeting figure cloaked in a dark grayish green.
Eat some fruit. I'll be right back.
A paper bag lands in my hands. Before I can respond, Caleb vaults over the railing and disappears into the night. How did Caleb get here so quickly? What, was he already watching me from afar?
Perfect vessel, my ass. It doesn't even look as good as us unfinished products. Damn it!
Unfinished products. Sharp shards pierce through half of... What? Sharp shards pierce through half of Viper's face. But before he can even cry out in anger, a kick knocks the wind out of him. They just dropped his name like that? Viper. A powerful force slams him into the ground, which instantly destroys the other half of his face.
I see it's shedding season again, Viper.
He knows him.
You bastard! I'll kill you!
Caleb increases the weight. Immediately, the crisp sound of something cracking reverberates. Those invisible restraints are like iron that even make Viper's knees creak.
You... Stop it!
A white prosthetic eye floats into Caleb's hand and is crushed in an instant. Oh my gosh.
Who gave you the right to approach her?
The professor said it's not time to go after her yet. I was just playing around with her.
The professor. It feels as if a swamp is slowly squeezing the air out of his lungs, making it difficult to breathe.
There are less than 72 hours before the final cleanup. I'm just reminding you that. If you can't retrieve the protocore fragments, you're done for.
Which hand did you touch her with? This one?
He's unfazed by the threat. Click. Viper's left hand is twisted, and he almost passes out from the pain.
You need to protect her. It's a bit much. Wouldn't you say your overprotectiveness borders obsession?
Dang. Raindrops are suddenly suspended in the air. They're like countless silver needles that are ready to pierce him at any moment. He can't even laugh. Whoa, Caleb's power is insane. Caleb crouches down, meeting Viper's gaze. He slightly smiles.
Lay a hand on her again, and I will kill you.
Unable to find Caleb, I have no choice but to retreat to the overpass. The soaked part of the paper bag I'm holding leaves a chaotic pattern on my hand. It almost resembles a winding labyrinth. That person knew I had an ether core. Is he an assassin sent by Ever? But he wasn't planning to kill me. It seemed like he was testing his prey.
Why are you standing here in the rain?
Oh, Caleb. An umbrella shields me as Caleb reappears. He frowns as he wipes away the water from my face. Caleb, are you okay?
I'm fine, but I lost track of him.
Right. Having checked Caleb's hand over and over again, my anxiety only dissipates when I confirm he's unharmed. It's okay, I got some of the parts he dropped. I'll take them back to data analysis. Hopefully, there will be something to learn.
We'll talk about it later. Let's go home.
He takes off his coat and drapes it over my head. With his arm around my shoulders, his warmth quickly envelops me.
Give me a heads up next time you go out. I can't help but worry about you when you're all alone.
This is so interesting. Upon returning home, Caleb ushers me into the bathroom. I'm wrapped up in the hot water's warmth. After getting out of the shower, I put on soft loungewear, the rain's chill having faded away. In the living room, I scan the parts and upload the data to my watch. A steaming bowl of ginger soup appears on the coffee table.
You didn't dry your hair. Again.
Freshened up, Caleb brings over a towel. He sits down on the couch and pats the spot next to him.
Come here.
This is so cute. I comply and hold the bowl of soup while Caleb towel dries my hair. It's very soothing, and I can't help but narrow my eyes. It's been a while since I received your service like this.
Oh, so you know it's a service. And that's why you always plop onto the bed to play with your phone while your hair's still wet.
It's because I know you'll help me.
Okay, Pipsqueak.
Through the towel, something taps my head. It's not too gentle or too rough. Though, don't you think you've gotten better at drying hair?
Have I? I moved out to live in the college dorms. Then I moved again for the DAA after graduating. Looking back, it's been forever since I was really home. That means it's also been a long time since I helped you dry your hair.
He tilts my chin before using his fingers to comb through the disheveled strands. There's no rush. We have more than enough time together.
Yep.
With the promise made, a new thought crosses my mind. What about the Deep Space Aviation Administration? Do they know you joined the Far Space Fleet? What about your comrade in arms?
They don't know. And they won't.
Oh?
It wouldn't be smart to have too many people in on this. They aren't required to know everything about me anyway.
My phone screen suddenly lights up. I see a news alert about the explosion in Cascade District. Ah, right. Kevy. He removes the towel from my head and walks to the bedroom.
I'll grab the hairdryer. Give me a sec.
Wait. Aware of the warnings Kevy's parents gave, and the fleet's close surveillance. Oh! Aware of the warnings Kevy's parents gave, and the fleet's close surveillance of the siblings, I realize things are in a more sinister light. Is it possible Caleb knows something about this? Oh no. Well, I don't think asking this question is doubting him. Well, the fleet has used a considerable amount of resources to deal with the explosion incident after their search for Kevy. Is it because Kevy's parents are important to them?
The perpetrator and victims are fleet personnel. That means the fleet must take full responsibility and provide answers to the public.
Then what will the fleet do if they can't find Kevy? To reassure me, Caleb gently pats my head. His voice softens.
Don't worry. They will find him.
Oh. I don't like that. Oh gosh. As I watch Caleb walk away, a sense of guilt creeps over me like an evening mist. When I wake up the next day, my head feels foggy and my throat is itchy. Maybe it's because I got caught in the rain yesterday. What are these for? As soon as I enter the living room, I stop in my tracks. Boxes of various sizes that weren't there before are now here. Caleb rolls up his sleeves. He sits down on the floor and pieces something together from the scattered parts around him.
This place has been empty for too long, so I bought some stuff.
Oh,
Take a look. Do you need anything else?
it's okay. I'll only be staying here for a few days. Anyway, I need to go.
Why? You don't plan to visit me anymore?
No, of course not. I rub my stuffy nose. Content, Caleb smiles, wipes his hands, and gives the assembled robot a pat on the head.
Hello, Master.
Oh. The little robot's screen forms a smile as its movements produce a series of clanks.
When you're on the bed and glued to your phone, it can bring you snacks and drinks.
Sure. The warmth in Caleb's smile makes me feel even more guilty. I'm sorry. If the fleet is just trying to protect Kevy, then I'll make it up to you once he's safe, I promise. This is bad. Because it seems like Caleb is gonna be like in danger if he doesn't get the protocore fragment back. I sit next to him and attempt to mask my nervousness with a pleading look. Caleb, I agreed to have dinner and watch a movie with some classmates in Skyhaven tonight. Can you give me a ride? It's not that far. You can take me there, since your plane can just zoom. Kevy agreed to meet at midnight, but after careful consideration, I decided to head out early to avoid any problems. I made that suggestion to Caleb so he wouldn't overthink things.
You shouldn't go out. I can tell you're coming down with a cold based on your voice alone. Focus on resting today, so you can recover.
Caleb opens another box and busies himself again.
There's a weird energy fluctuation in the deep space tunnel. All the Wanderers in Skyhaven are riled up because of it. To ensure everyone's safe, Skyhaven will be under lockdown tonight. We'll be doing a cleanup.
Isn't eliminating Wanderers supposed to be a hunter's job? What kind of threat could possibly warrant a large-scale response from the fleet?
Doesn't matter. Since the fleet is in charge of Skyhaven, safety is our highest priority.
He pauses and looks up.
I won't be around tonight, so don't even think about going out. Got it?
But This isn't good. I need to get Kevy out of there. Oh no. Meeting Caleb's gaze, I pretend to give in and purposely let a bit of reproach tinge my voice. Fine, I'll stay here. I can't exactly disobey the Colonel's orders, huh?
You also can't lock yourself in your room so that you can sneak out through the window later.
He knows. This isn't our old house, and even if I did climb out of the window, I wouldn't get very far. Seemingly uninterested in arguing, he ruffles my hair.
I'll take you to meet your classmates tomorrow.
He responds with a smile. It's the same one I've always seen, but his gaze is a little too cheerful. He's hiding something. Caleb, be honest with me. Is the cleanup tonight related to the explosion?
You're overthinking it.
He looks away and pretends to study the sketch. I grab his chin, forcing him to look at me. You're lying.
What about you, then?
Oh no. He calmly grabs my right hand and reveals the gun I had put on my waist.
Why do you need a gun at a friendly get-together?
Who knows what could happen. Back up. That's because I'm worried about encountering a wanderer. His grip on my wrist tightens.
Don't forget about the ether core in your body. You're not a normal hunter. And the whole explosion incident is complicated. One wrong move, and you'll be trapped here forever.
What? What do you mean by that? The fleet isn't just here to investigate the explosion, right? Are you hiding something? In the tense silence, the small auto is oblivious as it continues making noise. After what seems like an eternity, he suddenly lets go.
Sorry. Do you remember what I said? Leave it to me. I won't break my promise to you.
My lips tighten into a thin line, and the increase in body temperature that I've been fighting hits me. I slowly lean back and sink into the sofa.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have upset you.
Caleb kneels. He takes my wrist that he had grasped earlier and massages it with his thumb.
But tonight's operation isn't just a normal patrol. You're unaware of the dangers here.
His earnest gaze follows mine when I try to look away. For some reason, this version of Caleb feels like a stranger. Do you really mean it?
Cross my heart.
Make a pinky promise. You made a promise to me. Don't forget about it. No. As the day draws to a close, I still haven't found an opportunity to leave. I hope the round-the-clock shuttle service won't be affected by the cleanup. Only when my phone gives me a no-service message do I realize how thorough Skyhaven's lockdown is. Outside, darkness cloaks the scenery with the tree shadows. When it's 11 p.m., I hear the faint creak of a door opening outside. After silently counting to 30, I quietly get out of my bed and go to the living room. No one's here. Only a single wall lamp illuminates the room, and the furniture shadows are plastered on the house's white walls. I let out a sigh of relief and try to find my gun that Caleb put away.
Looking for something?
I knew he was still here. Oh no. Caleb, you're still here. Caleb stands behind me, his arms crossed. The light casts irregular patterns on the floor.
I was about to leave.
Go ahead. I'm getting something to drink. He knows we're lying. Oh. Oh no. A cup that's filled with water floats over to my side along with 2 white pills.
You were coughing a lot during the day. Did you catch a cold because of yesterday's rain?
It's just a small cough.
Take some meds before you go back to sleep.
His gaze is calm and gentle, showing no signs of discontent. It's as if my pitiful lie fooled him. Nah, he knows. Okay. Are these pills like gonna knock me out? I won't let him worry about me tonight, at least. These are probably like sleeping pills or something. I put the pills in my mouth and wash it down with the water. I have emptied the cup in one go. The ticking of the clock's second hand echoes in the dimly lit room, emphasizing the silence between us and our mingling breaths. Without thinking, I avoid his gaze and hesitate for a moment before heading back to the bedroom. Good night.
Good night. Hey. If I kept you here with me like this, would you think I'm being too selfish? But it's only us now.
Oh my god.
Let's say I had noticed these threats that were lurking around you earlier. Knowing then what I know now, none of this would have happened, right?
Oh no. I wanted to read that. It said clean up something.
Don't worry. This nightmare will come to an end. I promise.
Caleb.